you said boyfriends should be providers.
Yes.
Should girlfriends not do OnlyFans?
Should they not?
Yes.
I feel like it depends on the guy.
Okay.
But I don't see a problem with it.
I'll open it up to the panel. Should men be providers? I think you said yes.
Yes.
Or boyfriends should be providers. Should girlfriends not do OnlyFans?
I agree with her. I think it should be up to the relationship.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it should be up to the relationship with both.
But why are so you guys are able to say men should do this, but why can't you say?
I don't.
But when it comes to females' responsibility,
But even you would have to say that you have standards for how men need to behave.
I honestly am not the brightest. I don't know. I'm the provider
Are you gonna date a heroin
usually.
addict?
If he's nice and he loves me.
what?
I have issues. Why do you think I need to stay single? I need to stay single because
You
I
gonna
love...
date a guy who sucks off horses?
Okay, you got me there. You did get me there.
Do we have
down.
any standards for where we start here? Or
There is a...
Where'd that come from?
so our standard is heroin okay, sucking off horses one bridge too far.
I don't know. I'd prefer he didn't do that, but like, I don't know.
So there's a chance that
Not
you
the horse thing. Not the horse
voted
thing.
for
No.
Biden?
I wouldn't. No. That deserves jail.
You wouldn't just say
that
nay?
deserves jail.
What if he only sucked
Hey,
off? What
buddy,
if he only
that
sucked
was
off
good.
one horse?
Oh, it's only one.
Oh boy.
No. That's like
horse
this.
was lonely.
Bestiality is. Oh, can I not say that?
Anyways, so
It's bad. Gross.
so okay, so
It's
so,
not the
okay.
same as
here
drugs.
should boyfriends be providers?
Where did that go from?
Yes.
Just trying to establish some standard.
Okay.
Yeah.
You found one.
Should girlfriends not do
I
OnlyFans?
think she's figuring that out.
Okay, hear me out. So I think that if you meet a woman and she has an OnlyFans, you guys can start dating, and then once you get to a secure spot, the woman should not have an OnlyFans.
I'll come back to
Okay.
that, but okay. Should men be providers?
Yes.
Should women not do OnlyFans? Or sorry, excuse me, girlfriends. I keep messing it up. Should girlfriends not do OnlyFans?
If you start dating them and they already have OnlyFans, it's kind of like weird to expect them to stop when you knew they were already doing that. But if you started dating and then they started making OnlyFans while you were dating, I think they
Well,
should.
this whole thing about, so you just repeat it again. So if she was already doing OnlyFans, like he should know that going in, right?
Yeah.
But like I could just say the same thing about like you guys making your should claims about boyfriends being providers. Well, if he's like a 50-50 guy, well, you know that going in, but you guys are making should claims. No. You guys are saying men should do this. And so I'm essentially trying to point out, should then women not be involved in sex work correspondingly?
You're wording the question one way. You didn't say 50-50. I also think that that's okay, like a 50-50.
No. But you said men should
because you
be
worded
providers.
the question like that, and I said yes.
Well, yeah, but it's sort of the same. Because you could be like, no, men shouldn't have to be that. They can be 50-50.
Okay, then that's what I meant to say.
And I would date, and in fact, I would date. Let me just have a bit of a back and forth here.
Yeah, sure.
And so my confusion around this whole thing is that even though you're involved in sex work, it's very non-traditional, very modern woman. You have these traditional expectations of men. Men should be providers. Men should be chivalrous. But y'all are not
like traditional
women.
I see what you're saying.
You don't dress traditionally. You don't have a traditional demeanor.
See,
Maybe you're involved in sex work. It's not traditional. So y'all should be like, okay, I'll be the provider, or at least I'll be 50-50 with the dude. But you still want men to be traditional. That's where I'm confused. Like all these non-traditional women, y'all still demand, and it doesn't even have to be OF girls. That you can be like a normal girl, but still not be a traditional woman. You could be masculine. You could have all kinds of feminist brainwashing, all that shit. But again, my confusion is y'all are non-traditional. The way you dress, the sex work. But I want my man to be a gentleman and chivalrous and all this stuff. I'm confused. Explain.
well, I want the. I don't know. I don't expect anything traditional from my man. I just want him to be like the bare minimum of being a good person. But just because I do what I do for work doesn't mean I'm a bad person.
Didn't say that.
Exactly. So like.
Although.
I don't think all women think the way, obviously, that you're saying right now. Like,
wait, I went around the table and every woman here said boyfriends should be providers.
I don't think you remember what I said.
You actually didn't ask
Past her.
No, I asked her. Maybe you might have been up, so I went to her and her. And they all said yes. So what's your answer to the question then?
I just think that it depends on the relationship, but you should... if you both decide, hey, I make more money, I want to be the provider, then it shouldn't just be like, oh, the man provides and he has to provide. It's like, if he ends up providing, that's what you guys agreed on. But like, if she ends up providing because that's what's better for like you guys, perfect. I don't know. I just think that it doesn't really matter. There shouldn't be like a set person doing something specific. Like, whatever you guys decide, find a middleman, like meet in the middle. What's the word?
Okay, so you go on the first date with a guy, you're fine 50-50.
Yeah, or even I usually pay. I always try to pay so that I can let them. I don't know. It just.
Well, I'll go ahead and remove you from the conversation because you don't have contention with my point.
Exactly.
So, going to you, and you.
Women.
And I mean, you don't do OnlyFans, so you're not really part of the conversation, really. Again, should girlfriends not do OnlyFans?
I don't think that they should, but why would a man even message or whatever be interested in a girl that already does it? Like, who doesn't want to, like, that
they want to have sex with you. I don't care.
No, I'm talking about like a relationship though, and providing, like.
Okay,
so then why would you message a girl knowing she does it if you're not going to want to provide
here's the thing.
when there
I'll
is
concede
men out
to.
there who would provide for girls who do it.
Yeah, so here's the thing.
Like,
I will
I've been
concede
through
to.
that, so.
Yes, you're 100% right. There are simps and frankly pathetic men who, despite a woman's refusal to bring her own traditional standard to the relationship, these men know that these women have a traditional expectation on men. Women know that despite how modern they themselves are, how non-traditional they themselves are, they can still demand men to be traditional. And so I acknowledge this. What I'm pointing out is more so, I don't think that that's, one, fair for the man. I think he's a simp if he does it. And I don't think women who are non-traditional deserve it. So you can still get it. There's plenty of simps out there. There's plenty of guys who are desperate for pussy, desperate for a relationship, desperate for anything, who don't have any boundaries, standards, or preferences. That's true. But what I am saying is that from your end, I don't think it's reasonable, I don't think it's fair that you have the expectation that men should be providers when, in other words, falling into their traditional gender roles when you're not following into your traditional gender roles. So
Yes,
how
I
do
get
you
that.
reconcile it?
I do get that. I do understand. It makes sense. But like I said, why would someone even come to me knowing I do that? Like, why?
Because
they wouldn't if they didn't want to, like you, for example.
What do you mean?
Like, let's say, like, why would somebody want to be with me knowing that I do that if they don't like it, if it's untraditional?
Well, okay, I've already granted that despite what you do, there are still going to be men who are going to simp and spend all this money and still be providers despite your lack of traditional nature. They're still going to do it, right? Because they still want to fuck you. They still want to get with you. They've sort of accepted the new social order, the new order. But what I'm pointing out is that I don't think that that's a fair shake for men. And I think it's, in addition to that, despite them accepting the unfairness, from your perspective, why do you demand traditional treatment from men when you're not a traditional woman yourself?
Well, like I said earlier, if my partner wanted me to stop, I would.
That's not what I'm talking about, though.
So what are you saying? That I'm just not traditional, so why do I want traditional?
I'm asking how you reconcile it. Like, okay, you're like, here are my standards for a man. He has to give me chivalrous traditional treatment, right? Is that true? Like, for example, if a guy took you on a date and he was like, 2 checks to the waiter, and you had to pay for half of it, would there be a second date?
No.
Okay. So you have this...
If he asked me on the date, no. There wouldn't.
Okay. Right. But you do acknowledge that people will go on dates, and oftentimes it'll be the man who asks, and they will end up splitting the bill, right?
Yeah.
It does happen.
Yes, it does.
Right. So I'm trying to understand, like, this gendered expectation that you have.
Well, the way I was raised in my family, my dad was a provider.
Okay.
And
was your mom a
he taught
hooker?
me. No, but he
Or sorry,
was still
not
the provider.
was she involved in sex work?
No.
Okay.
He still provided, and he
Despite-
taught me that my partner should provide. That's
Well,
what
what? Hold
I
on.
grew
Wait.
up
So
on.
your dad's a traditional man.
Yes.
He's a traditional man, took care of the household, and he taught you that. So it's interesting. Women, when they're being raised, they're told, here's how men should treat you. And boys are taught, here's how you should treat women. But you don't hear as much pressure on, here's how women should treat men. Here's how women should conduct themselves. I find that interesting.
But just because I do OnlyFans doesn't mean I'm treating a man wrong.
Does your father know that you do OnlyFans?
Yes.
And he's okay with it?
Yes.
He really? He
Yes.
has no quarrel with it.
He's supportive.
Is he a provider?
Yes.
He lives locally, or
Yes.
do you live with him?
Right now,
you live at home?
yes. I just moved back here.
Do you pay rent?
Yes.
Why the need to do sex work?
Right now?
Mm-hmm. You've got
Be-
a roof over your head, probably food, right?
Yes.
But I mean, so he's totally cool with it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a provider, but I don't think any father
When
should
you're,
be okay with
when
their
you're-
daughter doing.
Yeah, when you're doing this, right, on OF, there's a live chat, right?
A live chat?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. My one challenge that I always try to give to a woman who's on OnlyFans who says her father's okay with it is to remove themselves from the video, right, and just say, hey, Dad, this is what my live chat is. Read my live chat, right? Only my live chat. You can't see me, right? During one of my streams. And then, hang on. I just would like to know if your dad read just the live chat, right? A live chat of you doing one of your streams, if he would be for you doing OnlyFans after that.
Well, my dad knows what OnlyFans is. He
That's
knows
not my
what it's
question. That's not my
about.
question.
Like, I'm
If
pretty
he read
sure he
one of the
knows
live chats,
about what goes on in the
if
chats.
he read one of your live chats, right, just the live chat, do you think that he would still be for it?
Yeah, because he
Yeah.
already knows what it's about.
Okay.
My parents are
You do it under his roof?
supportive.
You
No.
make the content under his roof?
No.
Where do you go?
I have a studio. So,
Yeah.
I want to ask you a quick follow-up question. So if there was, say I was a guy who was living in my parents' basement, didn't have a job, was broke, a bit overweight, a little bit of a pussy, like couldn't really protect, but I was sitting there saying that I deserve
Talking
a
shit
woman-
about me, bro.
But I was there saying that I deserve a woman who is going to cook for me, clean for me, have my children, and do all these traditional feminine things, but I can't do any protecting or providing. Would that be a reasonable thing to expect?
no, but I'm not saying that there's nothing I can bring to the table.
I mean, I actually understand your argument. It's actually a pretty good one. So your argument here is just like, look, if I expect traditional treatment and a man's willing to give it to me, right? He's the one who's reaching out to me. He obviously clearly knows what it is that I do. That's on him. That seems reasonable to me.
Yes.
Yeah, that seems totally reasonable to me. I look at this from a different angle and get your guys' input on this. The angle I look at it as is, from my perspective, you just women who are on OnlyFans and moving into sex work just kind of whittle themselves out of the gene pool ultimately. And what I mean by this is just this. your selection sample size is going to be less than other women, right? So even if you're really, really, really pretty, there's lots of really, really, really pretty women who don't do sex work. So if you were a traditional man, let's say you were very staunchly Christian, believed in Christian ethics, this type of thing, and then let's say you kind of absorb some of the more red pill ideas of want to have a nice body and also want to have a lot of money and this type of thing, but I'm going to keep these kinds of like principled underpinnings to go with it. Seemingly, according to the data that I've looked at, women really like those types of men, right? Really, really like them. But if you were one of those types of men, why would they ever choose you? Well, if the available kind of pool that they can choose from is you minus the sex work, wouldn't they go for that? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
So from kind of
judgment. Do
yeah,
you?
so kind of from my perspective, it's like it seems like you're setting your feet on fire to warm up your hands, right? Yeah. It's like it just seems so silly to me. I actually don't really understand it.
I just never want to rely on anyone to provide for me or take care of me. I want them to want to, but I also don't really care. I think that I can take care of myself, and I don't really care about a man who like provides for me, and I don't expect that. Or
it's really funny because in the role of traditional. And when I think traditional, I think Christian foundation, Christian ethics. That's, for me, is what tradition means. If I got really sick, my dad got really sick. He had multiple sclerosis. My mom took care of him for 25 years.
Dang.
I would like to think that if I got really sick, my wife would take good care of me.
I hope so.
Right? I'd like to really think
so.
that she would, because she would, right?
Yeah.
She just would. So when this idea comes up of like, I don't need nobody, I wouldn't feel any shame by that.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about that. I mean just money wise. Like if I need help, I would absolutely ask for help, but I just want to be able to provide for myself money wise in all situations, especially if my significant other were to die.
I totally understand. I'm not even kind of beating you up on that. What I'm saying is that if the kind of like underlying idea here is I want man who has these qualities, right? He's dependable, he's emotionally stable, he has a really good ethical foundation, and he works really hard on himself, right? And all of that is going to be kind of put to you. You get to have access to that, right? Yeah. But he also has a selection now, right? He has a selection, and he can choose from the multitudes of the beautiful women who are available. Why would he choose the one that did sex work?
Yeah, and I honestly, if that's not what he's into, then he absolutely shouldn't, and he shouldn't feel like he has to.
So when Brian asked this question, traditional behavior for traditional behavior, what he's really asking you is like, if the expectation is, I would really like to have a guy who's like that, it seems like you're shooting yourself in the foot to get that guy because his selection size is much larger, right? That just kind of stands to reason, right?
I guess I'm just glad.
But what's really funny is that almost every girl who's on OnlyFans, right, even the bored ones like her, almost all of them say the same thing, which is that they're gonna get that guy. That guy is for them, and they are going to get him. And then you fast forward 20 years, right? At least from all the women I've talked to, they don't get him.
Womp womp.
You can say womp womp.
Literally.
I mean, maybe at 40 you'll go back and re-toilet paper your dad's house. I don't know. But for the rest of us who live in reality, right? The reality is that really high status men don't want to date whores.
I'm really glad I don't live
like,
in your
that's the reality.
Like, I'm living in a really happy little reality where there's no judgment. I don't give a hoot or a holler or think about that stuff. Because if I find the guy that I want, I'm going to figure it out. And he's not the guy for me if he cares about my job.
Especially young ladies who come on this podcast, is that they're saying, yeah, but I'm happy. But that's because you're young and you're in a stage where you're in your most attractive years. And you'll get guys who will just simp for you. So if you've got guys simping for you all day long on the internet, then it's going to boost your sense of self.
Do you know what the rates are for lesbian divorce?
I don't want to get married.
Very high.
I want to live the rest of my life
abuse.
happy with someone. I don't need to get legally married to live the rest of my life happy with someone.
Let's just say it's common law. It's the same thing. Just you cohabitating.
You know, for me to find a man that is okay with me not legally marrying them, like I feel like that's just
they
as
would all
hard.
be okay with that. That's like the biggest risk factor for men.
Really?
Yeah, the biggest risk factor for men is legal marriage.
Every straight man I've ever been with, which is the first 2 boyfriends I had, they were not cool with me not wanting to get legally married, and I don't know. I don't know.
But did you say, okay, we don't have to be legally married, but I'm going to be exclusive with you forever?
And have kids.
Yeah, that's a whole different...
Yeah. I mean, I'm not having biological kids.
Why?
Because I hate babies. I really, really don't like... I love other people's babies, but to have a baby, I don't think I'm like... I don't think I have enough patience for that.
She's self-aware.
So you want to adopt adult kids?
No, I grew up my whole life raising my little siblings, and
No, but
they
she
were
said she didn't want to have biological kids.
yeah, like babies. I don't want a baby. I want a toddler, like
But
2.
you said you hate babies.
Yeah, that was pretty harsh. I don't know. I just kind of said that so that you guys could be like, this OnlyFans girl hates babies, you know?
That's going to be a really good thumbnail.
Yeah.
Do you think that you hate
hates
babies, or do you
babies.
think that you just
She
love
hates
being able to do what you
babies.
want all the time?
No, actually, I wanna. When I do decide to have a kid, I'm gonna adopt a kid, and then I'm going to like live out where I'm not saying where, but I'm going to move, and we're just gonna. It's gonna be me and them against the world, and we're just gonna
So you're just
travel
going
a
to adopt
lot.
a few kids, move into the woods, and just go for it.
Is there going to be a sewage?
Absolutely, there is going to be so much sewage all around me, dude. I love trash. Come on. Yeah.
You're one of those households, eh?
Trash star.
I guess going to the traditional thing, it's like so many women have like completely abandoned and cast aside any and all traditional gender roles, yet with the almost utmost entitlement still expect men to adhere to their traditional gender roles. You still want a masculine guy, you still want somebody to protect you, you still want a provider, but I want to be a non-submissive, dominant, modern boss babe woman who wants to do sex work and go to the club and dress promiscuous and dress
Yes.
revealing.
I think
Wait, yes?
that
Did you just say yes?
I
Wait,
mean, yeah.
as in like you're like, hell yeah, I agree, or you acknowledge the
That's what she wants.
degeneracy?
That's what she wants.
Or is that what you want?
Yeah.
I explained what I want basically.
But,
What you
okay,
just
but
described is what she wants. Yes.
Yes.